Hi, my name is Wes Warnoff, and I'm the clarinet professor here at the University of Missouri. And today I want to talk to you about Rose 20 and your preparation for the Missouri All-State auditions. In Rose 20, like anything that we practice with technique or facility, I think it's really important to start slow. And so the two things I want to talk about today are one generic and one very specific. And the generic thing I want to talk about is how I approach a technical piece of music. And for me, it's very simple. I start with my phone, which has a metronome on it, okay? With this etude, you want to start slow. It's in 3/8, and so you want to work with the subdivision. And so you want to slow your metronome down and have the 8th note be beating underneath you so you can stay right on time and really learn to train your fingers to be at the exact right spot at the exact right time. And when I say slow, I really mean slow. No matter what level you're at, there is a tempo out there where you can play this perfectly. And so for me, I take the metronome when I'm starting out working on this etude, and I put it on 80. And I start at the beginning, and I work it in chunks. And then I'll repeat that process 3 times until I know I can play it perfectly and I know it feels easy under the fingers. And I'm not tricking myself. It's either easy or it's not. And if it's not easy, I either continue to do it at that tempo or I slow it down. Then I would speed it up maybe 5 clicks and do it again. And I would repeat this process until I got to somewhere around 210, or where the dotted quarter note is equal to 70. And it's a long process, and I think the main thing to think about is not worrying about getting this thing all learned in one take. Like, if you sit down for an hour, maybe spend that first hour on the first 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 bars, okay? And if you can get that 16 bars great in a couple hours, maybe at half tempo, then that's a job well done. And then you move on, and the next day you come back to it, okay? And then you piece it together over time, maybe 16 bars at a time, okay? The next thing I want to talk about with this etude is the specific difficulty of measures 17, 18, 19, and 20. And that's these trill into the grace notes, into beat into the second 8th note that we all hear ourselves and our students slowing down on. So again, I would take the metronome, and what I would do is I would strip away the difficulties. And so I would take away the trills and I would take away the grace notes. And so I would practice it first like that. So this is starting at measure 17. And I would play that over and over and over again and work on speeding that up until it was comfortable. Then I would add in the grace notes. And then I would add in the trills. And for this trill, we're going to be fingering B flat, and we're going to use our top trill key here. It's kind of like a fake fingering. So, and that will allow you to be more rapid as you move through the gesture. And then once you're comfortable working through those steps, then you are free to speed it up and move it along as you see fit, kind of rinsing and repeating the practice concepts that we worked on earlier. So now I hope you enjoy Rose 20. So in Rose 21, I think what we're looking to work on and to discover is a real sense of phrase and an understanding of not only line, but how line impacts our breathing. And so as we work through this etude, something I like to do myself and with my students is to almost get away from the music. And so oftentimes I'll have my students listen to me play it and listen for phrase. And I think oftentimes we're sitting here looking at the music trying to find a place to breathe in a long etude like this. And I think the thing that gets in the way of us having success oftentimes with our technique is we are not breathing well. And so I would show you what I mean. I think obviously the first breath that we're going to take here in rows 21 is in the second measure. But after that, it gets a little bit tricky. And for myself, I can't make it all the way to measure 8 without a breath. And so what I want to show you and what I want you to listen for is where you hear a cadence, and then we can work to show that. So we'll start in measure 2 on beat 4. So you can hear right there we have a very nice cadence, and it doesn't look like a good place to breathe, but if we can work the pulse and work our breath support, we can take a nice breath there, and then we'll be supported to get through the rest of the phrase. And as we do this, the things to think about are we want to make sure that we always take good care of the resolution of the cadence before moving on to the rest of the phrase, and we really want to work to breathe and re-enter within the soundscape that we've created. Very often we'll hear where someone has a really nice, beautiful phrase ending, and then they take their breath and they come in and they're very loud. And so it's a nice finesse exercise to work on. And if you have a recording device, it's a really good way to work on it. So let's hear what it sounds like. And I'm running out of air, so it's really good to plan to have that breath so that you can make that phrase. Otherwise, you're going to get to the end of the phrase and you're going to be turning red, and all of a sudden you're going to have to breathe. And you've played this really beautiful concept, and all of a sudden it's been spoiled. So let's hear what it sounds like now.